Today we are working Psalm 29. Psalm 29 is used in psalm magic traditionally for help during storms. It's also used to purify the home and to get rid of negative energies. I would like today to use Psalm 29 to bring order out of chaos. The way we work psalm magic is very simple and it's quite effective. We take the psalm in question and we read it out loud all the way through once without stopping. That's called an incantation. Then we go back through that psalm and we take it verse by verse and we dig for hidden occult meanings that lie within each verse. We call those magic seeds. Through the act of digging and searching, contemplating and applying what we find in the psalm to the situation that we brought to the psalm, we are planting those magic seeds in the depths of our fertile mind, where they in turn take root. They grow, they blossom forth, and they bear fruit after their kind. And that's exactly what you and I are going to do together right now with Psalm number 29. Give unto the Lord, O ye mighty, give unto the Lord glory and strength. Give unto the Lord the glory due unto his name. Worship the Lord in beauty and holiness. The voice of the Lord is upon the waters. The God of glory thundereth. The Lord is upon many waters. The voice of the Lord is powerful. The voice of the Lord is full of majesty. The voice of the Lord breaketh the cedars. Yea, the Lord breaketh the cedars of Lebanon. He maketh them also to skip like a calf, Lebanon and Syrian like a young unicorn. The voice of the Lord divideth the flames of fire. The voice of the Lord shaketh the wilderness. The Lord shaketh the wilderness of Kadesh. The voice of the Lord maketh the hinds to calve, and discovereth the forests. And in his temple doth everyone speak of his glory. The Lord sitteth upon the flood, yea, the Lord sitteth king forever. The Lord will give strength unto his people. The Lord will bless his people with peace. Even the scholars have to concede that this psalm was probably an appropriation from the Canaanites. This was obviously something that they took from the Canaanite religion and just put the word Yahweh in there, because it's very clearly a Canaanite psalm to the god of thunder, Baal. I think that's very interesting because very frequently our whole tradition of psalm magic states that the book of Psalms predates the rest of the Bible and was appropriated by the Hebrew people and scribed, and in doing so was reordered to put their own theology in the different psalms. And the theories are that some of the psalms came from Egypt, some of the psalms came from Canaan, from all of those pagan religions from the Near East. Those are some of the legends regarding psalm magic. But in this case, the scholars say, yeah, probably, at least with this one. It starts off with, give unto the Lord, O ye mighty. Give unto the Lord glory and strength. It's talking about giving. We've said that we want to bring order when we have a chaotic situation. So it's telling us that no matter what, in order for us to receive something, we have to give. It's just the law of nature. And if you want to receive something from God, you got to give something to God. And it's saying, give unto the Lord glory and strength. You look to the infinite for glory. You look to the infinite for strength. A lot of people that were raised in religious households think, oh, I'm nothing, and I have to give all the glory to God, not myself, because I'm nothing. And that's not a magical perspective at all. Because from a magical point of view, you can't give something you don't have. So you have glory, you have strength, and if you give it back to infinite intelligence, it increases it. It creates a circuit. So in order to give glory and strength, you've got to connect with the glory and strength within you. So if you're going through something that seems chaotic, remind yourself, I'm powerful. I have glory. I have strength. I'm an extension of pure power, right straight from source. And I'm going to give back to source in order to create a circuit, in order to increase my power, increase my glory. Give unto the Lord the glory due unto his name. Worship the Lord in the beauty of his holiness. That's a huge piece of text. So let's really break that one down. So we're giving, and we're giving unto the Lord, which is the source. It's always important to orient ourselves to what the Lord is. The Lord, for a magician, is definitely not an external deity, whether it be a historical one or not. The Lord is a symbol for the one source that is all. There's one power, one source, one substance in all the universe, and it's called the Lord in the Psalms. We have to understand that this source is the source of all that is, so it's beyond religion. It's beyond philosophy. It's beyond mythology. It's beyond personality. The closest thing that I can find in any kind of mythology to what it is Star Wars, when it's just called the Force. It's pre-gender. It's not masculine, it's not feminine, it's none of that. It's pre-gender, it's pre-everything. It is pure force. And this pure force is also pure intelligence, pure love, pure law, pure presence, pure spirit, pure soul. And since this is an infinite source that is the source of all, there's nothing that can oppose it. There's nothing that can thwart it. Therefore, one with this force is a majority. And now that we are working with this force in concert, co-creating with this force, our success is assured. So it says, give unto the Lord the glory due unto his name. It's speaking as his because it comes from a patriarchal religion, these Psalms. But we understand that they definitely predate that religion. You're giving unto this force glory due unto its name. The name of something means its nature. There is infinite soul, infinite spirit, infinite life, infinite intelligence, infinite truth, infinite love, infinite law, and infinite presence. Those are the 8 main qualities of this force. So when you're giving glory due unto its name, you are contemplating and being appreciative of, giving glory to those different qualities. Where do you find those qualities? Within yourself. You can't look to worship an external deity and expect success in magic. You have to find that infinite within yourself. You have to find those qualities within yourself, contemplate those qualities, and therefore become one with them. And that's where you connect with the power. Worship the Lord in the beauty of holiness. So to worship in magic means to work for. That means that everything you do is oriented toward those qualities. And that's the beauty of holiness. You are holy because you are a child of, or an extension of, a product of this force. You are holy, it is holy, and you contemplating these qualities is a holy act. The voice of the Lord is upon the waters. The God of glory thundereth. The Lord is upon many waters. So this is the infinite making itself known to you, and it's using the symbol of thunder, because the God of thunder was considered to be the source of all that was. Anything that could cause thunder, anything that could cause lightning, anything that could cause earthquakes, all of those kinds of things, these ancient people thought that's what real God is. That's what a real force is. It actually makes things happen in the world. We don't have to theorize about it. This is the God of thunder. Think about that in regards to everything in your life. Where do you see evidence of this infinite intelligence in your life? What is it in your life that you can say, oh, there is some higher power at work here. There's some higher power at work here. That's the voice of God. Now, the voice of something, think about voice recognition software. It knows it's you because it's your voice. You know it's the infinite because of its voice, because of its effects in your life. So when it's telling you about the voice of the Lord upon the waters can represent so many things, but for us, it represents whatever this chaotic situation is. Whatever these problems are that you're bringing to the psalm, the voice of the Lord is that force, that power that causes things to rumble, that causes things to change. The voice of the Lord is powerful. The voice of the Lord is full of majesty. So power and majesty, you want to think in terms of the same power that causes the planets to spin. The same power that causes babies to come from embryos, that causes photosynthesis, that causes sunsets, that causes oxygen, that makes life happen, that keeps your heart beating right now, that brings breath into your lungs and all of the mysteries of the universe that we don't understand, but we take for granted every day. That is the Lord. That is powerful. That is this power. That is this force. And the voice of this force, that which makes it known to us, is full of majesty. So if you're listening to that voice, that means that you are understanding that there is nothing subtle about the miraculous nature of this force, and that it's always active in your life. The fact that we allow the ego mind to make all of these miracles so commonplace for us, and we go, big deal breathing, big deal heartbeat, who cares about the sun, who cares about the planets, whatever. That's the problem. That's the issue at hand here. Any problem, any chaos, any issue that you're going through, that you're coming to the psalm for, is a product of the ego mind discounting the nature of the infinite. Because if you understood how miraculous each and every moment is in your life, you wouldn't have room for this problem. Your mind wouldn't let this problem happen. But since we have been lulled to sleep by the mass consciousness of our humanity, we are all asleep to the fact that we are miraculous beings, having miraculous experiences. And therefore, our minds being so powerful, create experiences for ourselves and one another of problems and of mundaneness and you name it. Anything that's not holy, everything that's not divine, everything that's not miraculous. When you're coming to this psalm to solve a problem, what you're really doing is saying, I want to go back to the truth where this problem never occurred in the beginning, because infinite intelligence doesn't create problems. Infinite intelligence doesn't create chaos. So there is a place where we don't live in problems, where we don't live in chaos, and that's the truth. It's what the human mind makes of these miracles that's the problem. The voice of the Lord breaketh the cedars. Yea, the Lord breaketh the cedars of Lebanon. The cedars of Lebanon are a symbol of strong circumstances. So no matter how strong your problem seems, no matter how unsolvable your problem seems, the voice of the Lord will break it like a toothpick. The infinite is not subject to the laws of this world. And the infinite only respects the laws of this world for as long as we respect the laws of this world. But once we recognize that we are not of this world, we are of a different world, then this world becomes pliable to us. And that's when the Lord breaks those cedars of Lebanon. But remember, the Lord isn't outside of you. It's not something you're supplicating to that's external to you. This is within you. Your power is one with the power of the whole universe. And therefore, inside you is the real world. Inside you is where all of the miracles happen. Inside you, inside your own mind, is all power to heal and correct. And you're at one with the entire universe. The force of the entire universe is all within you. It's this idea that it's outside of you that we have to get over. This idea that there's this world outside of us. That's the illusion. The real world is in you. in you. And within you is the connection to the infinite, which is all power. So therefore, you have access to the same power that breaks the cedars of Lebanon at all times, just by recognizing it and turning to it and contemplating it. He maketh them also to skip like a calf, Lebanon and Syrian like a young unicorn. So Syrian is probably Mount Hermon. It's another big mountain. So the mountains sometimes in these Psalms represent big problems that have seemingly no solution. That's because we are thinking that those problems are outside of us. When we realize that all is within us, then we have power over it. And to skip like a calf or like a young unicorn or a young bull, these were considered big, scary beasts. A big bull was a scary beast. It could rend you. A unicorn was like a rhinoceros. It's really scary back then. The whole idea of the unicorn in this book was based on those very ancient beasts that were probably holdovers from the dinosaurs that were ruthless, that were dangerous. And so it wasn't the sweet unicorn of our fairy tales here. It was a real critter that was scary. We don't have to worry about those things because the infinite within us has it under control. If we turn to it, then we are one with that power, and these scary beasts outside of us, or these big mountains and hills that seem unscalable, are nothing to us, because that God of thunder is within us, and it can cause the earth to tremble. It can cause anything to happen that needs to happen in order for us to solve whatever this problem is. The voice of the Lord divideth the flames of fire. So just think about that. Think if you had this huge lake of fire and you were completely trapped and you said, oh, I can't do anything. This is an unsolvable problem. Think of that as your chaos. Think of that as your problem. This big lake of fire. If you're calling to that infinite within you that is all power, it divides it. Like Moses dividing the Red Sea. You just walk right through it and there's no problem. There's nothing that can be a problem for you because you have access to the power of all, the power that is the one, only true power. There's nothing that can oppose it. You and this power are one. One with this power is a majority. Whomever this power is for, nothing can be against. And this power is for you because you're turning to this power. And this power exists inside your mind, not outside somewhere. The voice of the Lord shaketh in the wilderness. The Lord shaketh the wilderness of Kadesh. Now think of the wilderness of Kadesh. Think of those ancient Hebrews that did that horrible ritual of the scapegoat. What they did is they felt so guilty about things that they had done that instead of dealing with their guilt, they projected their guilt onto an innocent goat and forced the goat out into the wilderness of the desert where it had no way of taking care of itself. And that's what we do. And then we wonder why we have problems. Then we wonder why there's chaos in the world because we scapegoat things and then we put it out into the wilderness to forget about it. And then what we don't understand that we're doing is that we are creating more of what it is that we projected onto that so-called goat, throwing it out into the wilderness. It always comes back on us, multiplied and expanded. So we're not doing that anymore. We are not scapegoating. We are calling on the infinite and we're saying, I want you to shake the wilderness of Kadesh. I want you to shake this wilderness situation. I'm not going to put a goat out into the wilderness. I want you to shake the wilderness for me. So whatever this wilderness experience that you're having, whatever the problem is, whatever the chaos is, you want the infinite to take care of it for you, not you projecting stuff onto it or sending out your scapegoat. The voice of the Lord makes the hinds to calve and discovereth the forests, and in his temple doth everyone speak his glory. If you look in the Hebrew, this is talking about the Bene Elohim, the sons of God, the angelic host. So this is all going on in the realms of heaven. Where does heaven exist? Inside you. So in you is heaven, and within you exist all of the host of heaven, all the angels. And all the angels are doing is praising the infinite. Within you is that praise. Within you is that heaven. Within you is that source of all solution to your problems. But we are so used to thinking outside of ourselves that we end up in the wilderness, in the chaos, because we have been taught incorrectly to look for solutions where they don't exist, and then we get more problems. Once you look for solutions where they do exist within you, where the connection to the infinite is, then the solution is a given. The voice of the Lord maketh the hinds to calve, discover the forest, and in his temple doth everyone speak of his glory. So within you is that temple, and within that temple is the connection to the infinite, which is the cause of every miracle that could be, that we take for granted day after day after day. We take for granted all of the miracles of life. Now you're being called to not take for granted the miracles of life. Think about the miracles that are happening in this moment. Just the fact that your heart is going conk, 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 conk. Just think about the fact that you have clothes on your back, that you have something to eat, that the planet is spinning, that the photosynthesis is happening. What other miracles can you come up with right in this moment? The cause of those things is the Lord, or that power. And that power exists in heaven, and heaven exists in you. The Lord sitteth upon the flood, yea, the Lord sitteth king forever. The king of all that exists lives within you. We're not saying it is you. You're not God over other people. That's not what that means. It means that that place where we are one and heaven exists is within you, and it is within everybody. And when we look within for our solutions, not only do we get the solutions, not only do we find the connection to the infinite, but we also find the connection to all other people. We're so used to thinking people exist in bodies. We're so used to thinking that people exist in personalities because that's how we interact with one another. What we don't realize is that the truth of those people, the souls of those people, actually are accessed within a different realm that exists in us, not out in the world. The outer world is the illusion. The inner world is the truth. That's the real world. The Lord will give strength unto his people. The Lord will bless his people with peace. To give strength to the people in this case is to fight for you. This is sphere number 5 on the tree of life. The infinite will fight on your behalf. You want the infinite to do the fighting. You want Samael to do the fighting. You want the angel to do the fighting. You don't want to fight for yourself. You don't want the ego to do the fighting. You want the infinite to do the fighting for you because the infinite fights in such a way that everyone succeeds and everyone wins. And that's not something that your ego is capable of even understanding, let alone carrying out. So if you give the fight to the infinite, in whatever the situation happens to be that you're bringing to this psalm, your success is assured. And that fight is done on your behalf in a way that you could never come up with on your own as an ego. The Lord will bless his people with peace. It's putting it into the future, but actually the Lord has blessed you with peace and does bless you with peace because the only true expression of the infinite is peace. When you find peace, you know you found that heaven. When you find peace, you know you found that infinite. When you find peace, then you know also that your spell has been cast. So you keep coming back to this psalm each and every day until you get a sense of peace and you get a sense of certainty that all is working out. And that's how you know that your spell is cast. And once your spell is cast, you don't have to worry about how long or what's going on in the physical world because it's just a matter of time. And so you can just move on to something else and let it take care of itself at that point. Thank you so much for spending some time with me. Until next time, blessed be.